The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. I, Vance, a cartographer seeking to map the uncharted wilderness of the Whispering Pines, had pitched my tent deep within the forest's heart. I sought solitude, a chance to immerse myself in the untouched landscape. The first night was tranquil, the only sounds the rustling of leaves and the distant hooting of an owl. I meticulously marked my map, noting the terrain, the flora, the subtle shifts in elevation. But as the second night descended, a subtle shift began to occur. It started with the wind. The pines, usually a source of peaceful murmuring, began to whisper in a way that seemed almost deliberate. The sounds weren't just the wind. They were laced with a faint, almost imperceptible undertone, like a chorus of hushed voices that I dismissed it as my imagination, the product of a long day of solitude. But the whispers grew stronger, more insistent. They seemed to be calling my name, a faint, distorted echo in the darkness. Then, the trail changed. I had marked my path meticulously, following a faint game trail that snaked through the dense undergrowth. But as I ventured further, the trail began to diverge, splitting into multiple paths that seemed to appear and disappear at will. The trees themselves seemed to shift, their positions subtly altering, making navigation impossible. I tried to use my compass, but the needle spun erratically, refusing to settle. The map I had so carefully crafted became a useless piece of paper, its markings no longer reflecting the reality around me. The forest was playing tricks on me, manipulating my senses, distorting my perception. The whispers grew louder, their voices now forming distinct words, fragments of sentences that seemed to be pulled from my deepest fears and insecurities. I began to see things in the periphery of my vision. Fleeting shadows, distorted figures that vanished as soon as I turned to look. The forest was becoming a labyrinth of illusions, a place where reality was fluid and unreliable. I found myself stumbling through the undergrowth, lost and disoriented. The whispers were now a cacophony, a chorus of voices that seemed to be mocking my fear. Then, I saw the fire. A small, flickering light in the distance, a beacon of warmth and comfort in the encroaching darkness. I rushed towards it, hoping to find a fellow traveler, a source of human contact. But as I approached, the fire grew brighter, more intense, revealing a circle of figures huddled around it. They were silhouetted against the flames, their forms indistinct, their faces hidden in shadow. They didn't speak, didn't move. They simply watched me, their presence radiating an unsettling stillness. I tried to speak, to ask for directions, but my voice caught in my throat. The figures remained silent, their gaze fixed on me. I felt a sense of dread, a primal fear that gripped my heart. I turned and fled, running blindly through the forest, the whispers echoing in my ears. I ran until I could run no more, collapsing in exhaustion. As I lay there, gasping for breath, the whispers faded, replaced by the silence of the forest. When I finally dared to look, the fire was gone, the figures vanished. The forest was silent, still, as if nothing had happened. I found my way back to my campsite, the trail miraculously reappearing, the compass needle settling. I packed my belongings, leaving the Whispering Pines behind. The experience had shaken me to my core, leaving me with a lingering sense of unease. The forest had shown me the fragility of perception, the unsettling nature of isolation, and the hidden depths of my own fear. I knew that the Whispering Pines held secrets that were best left undisturbed, a reminder that some places are best left uncharted. Blackwood Manor stood on a windswept hill, a relic of a bygone era, its shadowed windows gazing out over the churning sea. I, Julian Thorne, a reclusive writer seeking solitude, had rented the manor for a month, hoping to find inspiration in its Gothic atmosphere. The manor was a labyrinth of echoing hallways and dusty rooms, each filled with antique furniture and forgotten artifacts. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and damp stone, a constant reminder of the manor's exhaustion. My first few days were peaceful, spent exploring the manor's hidden corners and wandering the windswept cliffs that surrounded it. But as the days turned into nights, a sense of unease began to creep into my bones. It started subtly. A faint scratching sound from within the walls, a whisper too indistinct to understand. I dismissed it as the house settling, the old pipes creaking. But the sounds grew more frequent, more insistent. Then, I noticed the tiles. The manor's floors were covered in a mosaic of black and white tiles, arranged in a seemingly random pattern. But as I walked through the hallways, I began to notice that the tiles were shifting, subtly rearranging themselves. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light, an illusion created by the manor's shadows. But the shifts became more pronounced, more deliberate. The tiles were forming patterns, symbols, messages that seemed to be directed at me. I began to document the tile shifts, taking photographs and making sketches of the patterns. I discovered that the tiles were not just random arrangements. They were a code, a language that seemed to be communicating with me. The messages were cryptic, fragmented, filled with unsettling imagery. They spoke of hidden rooms, forgotten secrets, and a dark history buried within the manor's walls. I began to explore the manor more thoroughly, searching for the hidden rooms and forgotten secrets. I discovered that the manor had a history of tragedy, a series of unexplained disappearances and untimely deaths. The previous owners, the Blackwood family, had been shrouded in mystery, their lives marked by misfortune and tragedy. It was said that the manor was cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who had died within its walls. As I delved deeper into the manor's history, the tile shifts intensified, the messages becoming more urgent, more threatening. I felt a sense of being watched, a feeling that I was not alone in the manor. I began to experience strange visions, vivid and unsettling glimpses of the manor's past. I saw the Blackwood family, their faces contorted in fear and despair, their voices echoing through the empty hallways. I discovered a hidden room, a secret chamber concealed behind a false wall. The room was filled with old journals and letters, detailing the Blackwood family's dark secrets. The journals revealed that the Blackwoods had been experimenting with a dangerous form of magic, seeking to control the forces of nature and transcend the boundaries of reality. Their experiments had gone awry, unleashing a malevolent entity that had become trapped within the manor. The tiles, I realized, were not just a code. They were a conduit, a way for the trapped entity to communicate with the outside world. The entity was using the tiles to manipulate reality, to reshape the manor to its own design. The shifting tiles were not just a visual phenomenon. They were a manifestation of the entity's power, a way to warp the fabric of reality and trap me within its domain. I tried to leave the manor, but the doors were locked, the windows sealed. The manor was becoming a prison, a labyrinth of shifting tiles and echoing hallways. The entity began to manifest, its presence growing stronger, its influence more pervasive. The manor became a surreal landscape, a place where the laws of physics and the boundaries of reality were meaningless. The walls shifted, the floors tilted, the furniture danced. The entity was reshaping the manor, transforming it into a reflection of its own twisted reality. I found myself trapped in a nightmare, a world of shifting tiles and echoing whispers. The entity was playing with me, tormenting me, seeking to break my mind. I realized that I had to confront the entity, to break its control over the manor. I used my knowledge of the tile code to create a countermessage, a sequence of symbols that disrupted the entity's manipulation. The manor began to shake, the tiles shuddering, the walls groaning. The entity's power was weakening, its control slipping. I found the source of the entity's power, a hidden artifact concealed within the manor's depths. I destroyed the artifact, shattering the entity's connection to the manor. The shifting tiles ceased, the echoes faded, the visions vanished. The manor returned to its normal state. A silent, empty shell, I left Blackwood Manor, the shifting tiles and echoing whispers fading behind me. But the experience had changed me, leaving me with a lingering sense of unease, a feeling that reality was not as solid as it seemed. The shifting tiles of Blackwood Manor had become a reminder of the hidden forces that lurked beneath the surface of reality, the unseen powers that could warp and distort the world around us.